Welcome to The Explainer. Chemistry can sometimes feel like this vast, intimidating world, right? But it's not chaos. It actually has a map. And like any great territory, it's made up of distinct regions. So today, we're going to give you that map. We're going to break down the 5 fundamental branches of chemistry and give you a clear guide to what makes this science so central to, well, everything.
So let me ask you something. What in the world could a smartphone, a fresh apple, and your own DNA possibly have in common? I mean, they seem like they're from completely different universes. But the surprising answer that connects all of them is chemistry. And to really get how that works, you first need to understand its different branches. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll nail down a core definition of chemistry. Then, we'll explore the biggest divide in the entire field, the world of carbon. From there, we'll look at the branches that ask how and why, we'll dive into the chemistry of life itself, and finally, we'll see how this whole amazing puzzle fits together. All right, let's dive right in. First stop, what is chemistry really? You've probably heard it called the central science, and trust me, there's a very, very good reason for that. Okay, so at its heart, chemistry is the science of matter. What stuff is made of, what it can do, and how it changes. But here's the really cool part. Think of it like a bridge. Chemistry takes the fundamental laws of physics, the really basic rules of the universe, and uses them to explain the incredibly complex systems of biology. And that is why it earns the title, the central science. It's literally the glue that holds the other sciences together. Let's get to the first big, and I mean big, split in the road. There's one element that is so important, so unique, that it literally splits the entire field of chemistry in two. And that element is carbon. This is what we call the Great Carbon Divide. So why all the fuss about carbon? Well, it really comes down to this absolutely staggering number. We know of more than 20 million different carbon-based compounds, and that number is going up all the time. It's because a single carbon atom is like the ultimate Lego brick. It can form 4 super strong bonds, letting it link up into massive chains and complex rings. I mean, no other element even comes close. And that's exactly why it gets its own massive branch of chemistry.
And this brings us to the 2 main branches that grow out of that divide. On one side, you've got organic chemistry. This is the study of all those carbon compounds. We're talking about the stuff of life, but also plastics, the fuel in your car, the medicine you take. Then on the other side, you have inorganic chemistry, which is, well, basically everything else in the universe. So the metals in your phone, the minerals deep in the earth, the stuff inside a battery. Yep, that's all the playground of inorganic chemistry.
Okay, so we've got our 2 huge categories, organic and inorganic. But how do we actually study all this stuff? Well, our next 2 branches are kind of like the essential toolkits that all chemists, no matter their specialty, have to use. They're all about the how and the why. Let's start with physical chemistry. This one is all about asking why. Like, why does this reaction get hot? Or why does that one happen so incredibly fast? Physical chemists are the ones who use the deep laws of physics and some serious math to figure out the fundamental rules of the game. You can really think of them as the physicists of the chemistry world. Okay, so if physical chemistry is the why, then analytical chemistry is the what's in there and exactly how much of it. These are the chemical detectives for sure. You give them some mystery substance and they have a 3-step mission. First, they have to separate all the different things mixed in there. Then, they identify what each of those components actually is. And finally, the crucial step, they quantify it. They tell you precisely how much of each ingredient you've got. This is absolutely critical for everything from crime scene forensics to making sure our food is safe.
All right, our last major branch is a really cool one. It's a special hybrid that sits right where chemistry and biology smash together. Let's talk about biochemistry, the chemistry of life itself.
So, biochemists are the ones who zoom in on the incredibly complex chemical reactions happening inside living things. And I'm talking about what's going on inside you right now. They study these 4 major types of molecules, the building blocks of all life. They're figuring out how your body is taking the food you ate and turning it into energy, or how your cells are reading the instructions in your DNA. It's really the most intricate, elegant form of organic chemistry there is.
So, okay, we've laid out these 5 separate sounding branches, but here is the most important thing to remember. In the real world, they are not separate at all. They all weave and grow together, like the branches of a giant tree, to form one big, powerful, interconnected science. Let me give you a perfect example of how this works. So imagine a biochemist finds a brand new protein that might be linked to a disease.
Well, that protein is, at its heart, a giant organic molecule, right? To figure out what it's made of, she's going to need analytical chemistry techniques. And to understand why it folds into its unique, powerful shape, she has to use the principles of physical chemistry. See? They're all working on the very same problem, together.
And you know what? This teamwork doesn't just stop at the lab door. It extends out into the entire world. The legendary chemist Linus Pauling just nailed it when he said this. From creating new solar panels to developing life-saving drugs, everything is shaped by these branches working in harmony. So there you have it. That's the map of the world of chemistry. From that huge carbon divide to the tiny reactions happening inside your own cells. But here's the thing about science. The map is always expanding. So the real question for us is, now that we have this guide and we see how these powerful branches work together, where do they go next? What are the next great territories they're going to explore?